stepping, lean dressing, high stepping, lean dressing, high stepping, hip dressing, la. You got it together. Hello. So today we'll be talking about easy, effortless, and elegant makeup featuring Fenugreek. So I know it's an odd topic, but it's what we will be discussing. So this video was inspired by Curly Hair Crisis. So shout out to Curly Hair. She's a very vibrant influencer that is discussing her hair journey. She chopped off her hair and she fell upon Fenugreek. So when she spoke about Fenugreek, I was like, cool. So I know about it, but I've never used it. My mom uses it, and I decided, hey, let me try it, because she says she started it for skin and it somehow worked marvelous for her hair, right? So I'm going to use it for my skin. So if you watch here, you'll see I have some hyperpigmentation. So those are from acne scarring. And I wasn't one to get acne. Well, I didn't have it in my teenage years. And somehow I'm supposedly getting adult acne. So for those who think that doesn't exist, it's real. So I am going to be doing on my forehead here. So I am going to be using the Fenugreek, right, in an attempt to eliminate all these little scarring, right? And while I'm doing that, I am going to be giving you an easy tutorial for those of you who are not familiar with makeup and you want to be able to do it, because I've been there searching for all the easy tutorials and none of them seem easy. So I am going to try to give you the easiest, what works for me, because I am very energy conservative. So I'm going to give you these strategies I use for makeup that I deem simple, and I am certain it's going to be simple for you. So let's get to doing the face, and I'll tell you more about the Fenugreek and how I am going to incorporate it into my life to make my skin blemishes vanish. Good. So the first thing I'm going to start with is, so I already did the eyebrow, as you can see here, right? So eyebrow, I will not deem it as easy to do, so I did not incorporate the eyebrow in the easy, effortless tutorial, right? So that's something that will have to be done by itself. I took a while to master it, and I am still mastering it, right? I think it's just one of those things where your eyebrows just always end up looking like cousins rather than twins, right? So I'm not into the perfectionism, so I am not focusing too much on it. Okay? So good. So the first thing I'm going to start with is my beauty blender. So I have this one here, and I'm going to take some water, just water I have in this bottle, and I'm going to lightly mist it. So I'm misting it from the top to the bottom here to get it a little moist, right? Because I find if I do this, it's much more simple. And if I go and I wet it by the top, then it will get too much moisture, right? Before this, I must inform you that I did use this to moisturize. This is the Himalayan, and I use the rose water to tone, so you tone then moisturize. So in another video we'll talk more about that, right? So before I do that, I will prime. So today I am using the Lannie Prime Shield. So this is a mattifying primer, right? Because I have combination oily skin, and the foundation I'm going to use is the Wet n Wild, which is a little dewy. So I like to mix it up. So if I am using a mattifying foundation, then I will use a hydrating primer. Right? I just find I get a better mix when I mix the two. Right? So you use like opposing, so you know, negative, positive, bang. Right. So good. So then I take, so this has a little spatula that comes with it. So as I said, I like things simple, so I put it on the back of my hand to get less distribution of it, right? And then I take the wet side of the sponge and I dip in the corner, because I'm going to be doing the edges here first. So I'm going to start center and then go out, right? So now I'm going to switch over to the Fenugreek, right? So I have my packet of Fenugreek that I want to show you. Just give me a second. Right. So this is my packet of Fenugreek, and here it has on the pack Meti or Meti. Right? So this is of Indian origin, so I will say it is Meti. Right? So Fenugreek also goes by different names. So Meti is one of them. We have Alhalva, bird's foot. Lord, I don't know why they would call this bird foot. Buckshorn same, Chandrika, Fenugreco, Woluba, Woluba, Greek clover. Oh, probably it's pretty lucky, right? And Iru. Well, that's the Yoruban name. And I'm out of breath now, right? That's quite a few names that this would go by, right? So so remember we're doing the both, so we're intermixing, because that's what we do here. We are little complex beings, so makeup and fenugreek. So good. So just took a little more and I pin it onto my forehead here. Right? So you never put too much on your forehead, because your forehead most time doesn't need much cover. Well, mine doesn't, unless you probably have more breakouts and stuff and you need. So you're trying to distribute evenly on your face, and the sponge helps to do that. Right? I'm putting a little under my eyebrow here. So you see not much. So where I'm seeing the little acne spots, because that's why I'm using the fenugreek, I'm going to put a little more to my hand, because as you see I used it up, and then like dab a little extra there, so it'll give me a little coverage. Good. So apart from the fenugreek seeds, because this is what I'll be using, there are different things you can use. You have like the fresh or the frozen leaves that you will get mostly by Indian stores based on your location, so you can check for those. And there's also the powder form, and outside of the powder form there's the oud fragrance. What? So there's oils, right? And people use it to make those oud oils, oud fragrances, right? And I can see why, because those oud fragrances are loud, and this thing is strong. Because I had it in my room for a few days, and it's mind you, it's in a pack, and I'm smelling it. So my concern is, hey, when I'm drinking this, would my urine be smelling of it or what? But since it's supposed to be cleansing and stuff, probably the scent might not be there. So it's for those of you who are very particular with scent. This scent is, it's strong, so bear that in mind. Right, so the benefits now of the fenugreek. So they say it increases your libido, right? So you want to get a little frisky with the hussy and stuff. That's your girl. That's gonna help you there. Fenugreek is a deal. Alright, weight loss. So we know we live in an era where food is just so readily available, and we overindulge, so many of us are always trying to find ways to reduce our weight, right? You can use it for that. It increases breast milk and breast size. Ooh, you might see a sister in a few months to come. Perky, 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 irk. Right? So if that is your motive, hey sis, fenugreek is your best friend. Upset stomach, so those of you who have like upset stomach and digestive issues on the whole, fenugreek. Another thing is menstrual cycle is great. So if you have cramps, you get mood swings like me, I get serious mood swings. It's be like, ha ha ha, you know, barking at you like a pit bull, growling. Right? So, which is, it's for hair fall, dandruff, and other scalp issues. So we have a little dandruff, a little dry scalp. Fenugreek is your sister. So I get that kind of off and on. So although I'm using it for the acne, I'm going to see how it's going to work for the hair scalp too, right? And the main objective, what I'm using it for, skin, right? So since it has tons of vitamin C, it's going to lighten the skin complexion and give a glow. And it's going to be anti-aging. So I'm going to be looking way younger in the next few months to come. Right? So it's also full of lots of vitamin A and stuff. So I guess that is partly why it will be good for curing the acne, right? Because it has a lot of these antibacterial properties and so forth. So good. So before we continue with the fenugreek, I'm going to give you the next makeup step. So keep up with me. So since I've done the brush, now I'm going to use, the beauty blender. I'm going to use the brush now. So this is the dense foundation brush. Right? This one is by BH Cosmetics 123. Alright, so I'm just going to use this to pat the foundation now into the skin. So this is going to give you more of a flawless look, right? So the beauty blender is already light, and this is going to give you an even lighter look. So it's like a no foundation way. That's how we do, right? So while I'm doing this, I will tell you now about the internal treatment, right? So I am going to be using this internally and as opposed to topically, because if you look at some of the Indian sites, because many, remember these are like Indian herbs, so they will have more experience with this compared to other races and stuff. Good. So you have like ways in which you could consume it. So you can either use it as a tonic or you can do it as a tea. So I would try the tonic, but my preference is tea. So on days when I do use the tonic, I'm going to soak 1 tablespoon in 2 cups of water overnight. So it's going to be like room temperature water. Or because it's seeds, I think I will start with the hot water, so it will extract the properties faster, right? And then I'm going to leave that overnight, and I will strain it and then just drink the water on an empty stomach. So that would be like the first thing when I wake up for the day, right? For the day, because I don't know whatever time it will be. So good. So my favorite now is tea, right? So the tea method, I used organicfacts.net, right? And I tweaked, so they have their adjustments of how they said to do it, but I like to always do things to cater to me. So I read the information there, and then I take the method of ingredients and the ingredients, sorry, and then I adjusted how I would do my method, but I did incorporate some of theirs. So they have good information there. You can always go and look for additional information about the Fenugreek. Right, so before I go on to ingredients, I'll show you multi-makeup, so you see where it blends in even more, right? So good. So the next thing I'm going to take is bronzer, right? So this bronzer is 227 Sundance, and it's from Rimmel. So eventually, if I would try inserting these information into the video. So I take this, and on the corner here, I just pat it in and I go up. And I just take a little more swirl, knock it a little so it wouldn't be too powdery. And I go up, right? And then I will take some and put it slightly at the edges. And then I'll take some and put at the forehead, right? So that wouldn't look too all in one. And because I'm not much of an eyeshadow person, I will put it over my eyes here, right? That's how I use my bronzer. Good. Next thing I will take after the bronzer will be my blush, and this is 05 Luminoso from Lannie, right? And you will watch and see where I'm putting it on the higher end of the cheek and also on the eyebrow. So good. So ingredients, we have 1 teaspoon fenugreek seeds, 1 cup of water, 1 dash nutmeg, so that's optional, any other spice you may like, and 1 teaspoon honey. Again, that one is not optional because I prefer to drink herbal teas as they are without added sugar. That's just my style. I don't know, I just find honey does just make teas taste a little off. I don't like the combination. Right. Good. So then next you're going to add the seeds, just the fenugreek seeds, and the water in a pot. Right? You're going to put it in the pot and you're going to boil that for 3 minutes. You're going to cover it for the next 3 minutes. So you lower the heat, you let that simmer in the pot again for another 3 minutes, then you take off the stove and you let the seeds steep in the water for like 15 minutes. Good. And after you let that steep, you're going to strain into a teacup and add the honey and spice. So that's if you do it. I am not adding the honey and I'm not adding the spice because again, I like things. I'm not adding the honey, but I may add the nutmeg, I may add a little bay leaf, you know, stuff like that. So the next thing here is my highlighter. This one is Wet n Wild Highlighting Gold Bar Illuminator. Alright, so I'm just going to take these and put it on the high points of the cheekbone here. And then I'm going to put a little under the eyes, a little on the tip of my nose, and a little here on my cupid bow. Voila. So, going to conclude on the fenugreek, going to conclude with my setting and finale, right? So, conclusion here. Freestyling is my modus apparatus, right? So I'll just be doing this how I feel to do it. So I'll drink on mornings. If I get up, I most likely I'll drink in the evening, and if I feel to drink tea in between, I'll drink it. But my main thing is like water. I prefer to just drink water and tea, right? So I would most likely drink more of the tea over the tonic, right? So I don't want my hair to get wet when I spray the setting spray. So I'm just using rose water to set. And then I take the sponge and I right? So disclaimer, pregnant women should avoid this. So if you're watching me and you're going to follow and you're pregnant, you're planning on getting pregnant, leave this alone. However, as I said, the action, so you can post that afterward. You can drink it after post pregnancy, right? Because the reason why you don't want to drink it during pregnancies because it causes uterine contractions, right? And you don't want premature labor. But however, if you want to induce labor, the fenugreek is good for it, right? So this is the easy, elegant makeup look featuring fenugreek. So as with anything, I need God's divine intervention so I can have the wherewithal to stick to it. So please, God, give me the endurance to help keep on track and follow through with drinking this tea and tonic. And thank you for the fabulous hair look. So thank you guys for viewing, and I know you've enjoyed this, right? So give it a thumbs up. If you didn't enjoy it, still give it a thumbs up, or you can just give it a dislike, you know, right? So see you in the comments, you know. Let me know what you think about the video. And if you'll be trying the fenugreek, you know, probably you could come on with me and we could drink our tea and sip it together and stuff and get flawless looking skin, right? Because if you want to be starting something, you got to be starting something. So you want to be starting something, got to be starting something to how to get over. Yeah, yeah.